Talk with author Dre Lett is a show that informs, inspires, and motivates. All shows are taped in front of a live virtual audience. Make sure to follow us so you can be notified when a new show is available on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Also follow us if you want to be a part of our live tapings. Grab your beverage and snacks, get comfortable so we can let's talk. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another show of Let's Talk. I am your host, author Dre Lett. This is the show where we inform, inspire, and motivate you during these tough times and beyond. So come on in the virtual room and have a virtual seat so we can let's talk. You guys can view my shows on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and make sure you hit follow and make sure you like and you tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. I'm so excited for tonight's segment. Oh my goodness, I have been looking for someone to come on the show that was an expert in this field, and somebody answered the calling. Well, actually, several people answered the calling, but this individual in particular, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. So you guys, tonight, let's talk about how to secure your ideal job and role. My guest is Jahari Soward, CEO of NPursuit Career Partners. She'll be on the virtual stage shortly. Also, we're in the month of March and we're celebrating Women's History Month. We'll be back after this brief message from our sponsors. But as you guys know, when I return, I want to give my shout outs to my Let's Talk fam. So you guys make sure you put in the comment section where you're watching the show from. And just make sure to say hello. If you're watching this in a pre-recorded phase, no worries. I always go back and look at the comments and I will definitely give you a shout out, okay? And also, if you guys ever want to be a part of the live virtual audience, all you have to do is go to the Facebook page, any of my socials, Instagram, and we always put up the date that we're going to tape and go live. So you'll know to make arrangements so you can be part of the live virtual audience, all right? So with that being said, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes after we hear a brief message from our sponsors. This book is about one man's journey about the trials and tribulations of dealing with a disability and making poor choices. Read how he beat the odds. Purchase this tell-all inspiration story about Dr. Benny T. Davis Sr.
Order your book today. Tell All, I'm Not That Way Anymore, by yours truly, Dr. Benny T. Davis Sr.
DTL Productions is a multimedia company that specializes in social media content creation for small businesses. I also offer my marketing, virtual assistant services, and so much more. For the month of February, March, and April, I'm running a special price for my virtual services for $13 an hour or $1,200 a month. Our social media marketing content creation ads for businesses is only $500 per ad. Contact us at 770-633-7400 or email me at drelett@dtlproduct.net or visit my website at dtlproduct.net. Let me make your work-life balance easier. Call me at 770-633-7400.
Call you up, baby, we can go shopping. my calling. Girl, I told you I'm bold when I fall. I don't know no better.
All right, you guys, that was a message from our sponsors. You know how I am about entrepreneurship. Make sure you support them, support them, support them. All right, so I see some of you guys are watching live. Here in Atlanta, the weather's nice and everybody's probably out hanging out, but I see over here quite a few are watching live. But my Let's Talk fam, my regulars, they not saying nothing. I'm kind of shocked, but yeah, I see several people are watching that I'm not familiar with, but it's okay. You guys can give me a shout out and say hello. If you're shy, I totally get it. So let's see the regulars. I'm one of the producers. My husband says he's watching from the infamous man cave. Love you, babe. Thank you for your support. That my ride or die. And then we got Rockin' Richard Houston. Yes, indeed. Hello, sir. How are you? We will be coming your way next weekend. I'm so excited, you guys. He's throwing an amazing skate party where we're going to get dressed up and roller skate. So we're so excited to be going home to Detroit for that function. And like I said, several people are watching live, but they might be too shy. Maybe they'll say hello a little later. So I thank you for your support. Oh, okay. My cousin from Vegas, she's watching. She says, hello, Wendy. Wendy Cool, Las Vegas, checking in. We maxed out a 54-day. What for Las Vegas? That is cold. It was warmer where my family's in Missouri at 70 today. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Isn't it funny how it flips? Different parts of the state. Up north is warmer and down south might be cooler, but oh my gosh, stay warm, stay warm. And of course, Richard got to put the star eyes. Yes, all camera lights action is going to be on him. He's got the news people coming out. Oh man, I can't wait. So I'm going to make sure I take lots of pictures to share with you guys when we get back. And I got a little special something from him for him on my show when we get back because I want to acknowledge him. So he's been skating since the 70s. Amazing. Okay, you guys. So let's get into our hot topics. You guys watching live, make sure you chime in. If you're watching a pre-recorded phase, that's fine too. If you want to chime in after the fact, like I said, I always go back and look at it later. So this one topic is kind of wild. For one of the things we did for my birthday last week, happy birthday to me. Woo woo. Anyways, we went and did karaoke. We had a great time. Me and my girls, we did some in Vogue and we had so much fun. And then the other day, one of my friends told me, girl, did you see the news? And I was like, no. And here's the hot topic that I am just like devastated about. Yes, you guys, if you guys remember her, this is Dawn Robinson. According to TMZ, Dawn Robinson, the leading voice of R&B powerhouse In Vogue and Lucy Pearl, and even Dr. Dre's firm Supergroup at one point, is cleaning out her closet, revealing she's been homeless, sleeping in her car for nearly 3 years. Oh my God, that's horrible. Dawn explains she fell on hard times during the pandemic and had been staying with her parents in Vegas before that situation fizzled. She says her former co manager convinced her to move back to Los Angeles, where he strung her along, putting her in a hotel instead of helping her secure an apartment. Dawn says she then started researching the culture of car living and, to her surprise, learned she could easily adapt. She says she has a gym membership where she showers. Oh my God, I just cannot believe that. It's so sad because I love her vocals. She is amazing. Her fellow entertainer friends, this is my personal opinion, her fellow entertainer friends should all get together and, chip in some money and even just pay for a full year of an apartment somewhere for her. I mean, all the things that she did for the industry, the records she sold, all of that, even if they did a GoFundMe. But it's so sad to see artists at the top one moment and then they're down the next. So I'm definitely praying for her. You guys keep her lifted in prayer. Okay. All right. So this next segment that I want to do before we bring on our guest, I'm so excited to have her on. But this next segment, it's called Women History Month. Here on Let's Talk, we're going to honor women, especially Black women, because we need to be lifted up. Black women go through so much adversity from everyone. And so I am a firm believer as a Black woman to lift us up. So with that being said, March is the month of Women's History Month. So let me go ahead and show you who I wish to honor, who I think is amazing. Yes, you guys, that is Miss Kathy Hughes. Let me tell you about her. She is an American entrepreneur, radio and television personality, and business executive. Her story is amazing. During her marriage with Dewey Hughes in 1979, they set out to purchase a radio station. successfully finding a lender after being denied 32 times by banks. Yes, 32 times. She didn't give up. She was persevering. I think by the second time I would have been like, I'm good. She kept pressing on 32 times. After divorce, she faced financial difficulties and subsequently lost her home and moved in with her young son to live at the radio station. Oh my gosh. Today, fast forward, today, she is listed as the second richest Black woman in the United States after Oprah Winfrey. Isn't that amazing? Miss Hughes founded the media company Radio One, Urban One, and TV One. And when the company went public in 1999, she became the first African American woman to head a publicity traded corporation. She now owns 70 radio stations and 9 major markets in the United States. Radio One is the home of the Ricky Smiley Morning Show and the D.L. Hughley radio show. Now, Miss Hughes' son, Alfred Liggins III, is the CEO and president of Radio One. However, Miss Hughes is still a chairperson on the board. Miss Hughes is also a minority owner of BET Industries. BET. So today we celebrate Miss Kathy Hughes. We thank her so much for paving the way for other young women to come along that want to do things that she done bigger and beyond. But we have to pay homage to those that paved the way for us. So I wish to honor her. Isn't that great, you guys? What do you guys think about that? Those that are watching live, I want to see what your comments are. What do y'all? Let me look at the comments here. Yeah, they're talking about the weather, and I think somebody else is typing in right now, but we'll definitely go back and take a look at your thoughts on that. But yeah, that's amazing. Kathy Hughes is all that to me, I think. Okay, you guys. So I'm just going to check and see if there's any more comments here before I move on to introduce my great guest. Okay, yeah, they put some more stuff and I'll go back and put up their comments later. All right, so let's introduce my guest. She is amazing too. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you the story before I introduce her. I've been looking for a long, long time for someone that was in the staffing industry, recruitment or HR to come on the show and just give us an insight into things and how things are done. And so basically, I really wasn't successful, so I just put it in a group of women that I know that I belong to, and I had several people respond. But I said the first person that respond, and I feel that's on it, she's the one. And it's funny how God works because we talked and we clicked so well. And I was like, absolutely. Let me share with you who this woman is. She is bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to give her her props. She is amazing in my book. Okay, you guys. This is Jahari Soward. She is the CEO of NPursuit Career Partners. She holds a NPursuit Career Partners. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree in chemistry from Tennessee State University and an MBA from Georgia State University. Jahari combines technical expertise with business acumen to drive workforce innovation at scale. She's a recognized expert in AI, workforce transformation, and digital equity. She is dedicated to bridging the gap between emerging technology and economic opportunity. Yes. As the CEO of NPursuit Career Partners, she leads global skilling initiatives, AI powered workforce solutions, and digital transformation strategies, ensuring that businesses, nonprofits, and individuals thrive in an AI driven world. Jahari is a recognized thought leader and serves on key advisory boards. She has been honored for her leadership in technology and workforce development. So, everybody, help me welcome to the virtual stage Miss Jahari Soward. Hey, lady.
Hello, how are you? And happy birthday.
Oh, thank
Yes,
you.
happy belated birthday. I'm so glad to celebrate you today.
Yes, and this is a present that you're coming on because when I tell you, meeting you and talking with you, I mean, we just clicked. I said, this is amazing. And all the things that you represent and that you do. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Well, listen, you know what's so funny? Well, thank you for that. But you know what's so funny is that we stand on the shoulders of so many giants. I remember meeting Kathy Hughes probably about 8 years ago
Wow.
here in Atlanta. She was a guest of the Atlanta Business League.
Okay.
At one of their Super Tuesday luncheons that's typically held in September every year. So if you all haven't been, make sure you go. They have amazing speakers. But I got a chance to have lunch with her.
Ooh.
And, you know, you kind of see BET on TV and you see these things, but when you meet the person behind it and you understand their story and their journey, it gives you so much motivation to keep going. So, you know, go figure, 8 years ago I met her, and now,
Ooh, you're off and a bag of chips.
not exactly like
That's
Kathy Hughes, but on my way. Listen.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So I just want to pick your brain. Before I pick your brain, some people funneled in some questions, and then I had some of my own. And of course, so I just want to know, and I hope I don't wear you out too much, but one of the questions that came into me, they wanted to know, what is the most effective way to land your ideal job or role? What if your network isn't that strong? Let's say somebody's shy and they don't know how to get out and network. What's the most effective way?
That's a really good question. People ask that all the time. They're looking for a new role. They want to figure out how do they get there. Maybe they don't have the network. I would say this. It's still super important that whatever industry that you're in, you are still working to understand the industry. So understanding what's going on in this space, what's happening, where people convene. Industry associations are a great way to do that. Not only does it tap you into individuals that may be peers to you, but also leaders within those organizations, and helps you be mindful of the things that they're talking about, what's going on, staying vigilant. And sometimes when people see you show up and you participate
Mm,
and they see you frequently,
mhm,
you suddenly will start to stand out, because not a lot of people looking for jobs are doing that.
mhm.
Oftentimes what people are doing is looking online, they see something and then they apply for it. But when you're engaged and when you're listening and you're involved in these industry associations, what it gives you the opportunity to do is understand what's uh, the current state of the market and the current state of the industry, but also
Mhm.
the future state. Because
Mm,
rarely in these meetings are they talking about things that happened 2 years ago,
yeah.
referencing that, but they're really talking about how do you prepare for the future of the work. And so everything that we do really is focused on future of work. And I really try to make sure that we are constantly talking about future of work discussions, so you stay um, vigilant and you stay prepared. And that sometimes means elevating your training or elevating your certifications. You'll start to hear jargon and things that sound familiar, or maybe you saw, or maybe you heard of. And that should be your indicator to maybe double click on that. And not only will I find my ideal job, but I may meet some people that can direct me, navigate me, help me think about what's next and how to really reimagine your career.
Wow, that's awesome advice. Awesome, awesome advice. Because, like you said, you can get into some of those meetings and organizations and so forth and meet other people.
Yeah.
So, I know you're like the master, AI, like, the back of your hand. So, a lot of things that I'm seeing are people, this is a question for myself. I'm seeing a lot of people writing their resumes with AI. What are your thoughts on that? Do you feel like they should use AI 100% or put a little bit of themselves in it, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I definitely think you need to customize your resume, right? And tailor it to the role in which you are applying to. When you're applying to jobs, there are things called keywords, and keywords essentially help recruiters or managers better assess if you have some of the skills in which they're looking for, so they don't have to read through the entire resume to find out if you have some of the key skills or target skills. So keywords become critical. But sometimes what I notice is that we can get so used to doing something, doing
Mhm.
the same thing, and we do such a great job at it, we don't even think about it. We almost say like, oh yeah, I just did that. But what you just did was a process. It was a way in which you did it. There was a methodology, there was a design, it was a framework. And sometimes we forget those things that we take, that we do so naturally. And so, what AI can do is, as you are feeding it information about those things that you did and the achievements that you've made in those roles. This is just your AI, and a GPT is just your assistant. It's just assisting you with maybe crafting language around it and highlighting some of those key skills. And for many people, they recognize, wow, that's exactly what I did. And if it can help you in those ways, fantastic. What I don't, so everything I talk about when I talk about AI and using a GPT, I really want to go back to focusing it on human centered AI.
Okay.
It
Okay.
always starts with you. Um, you cannot just put information in and expect it to give you something out without fact checking, without validating, without checking it, without adjusting it. Doing that would be negligent, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that a tool like a GPT has about a 30% error rate. And those are known facts. So I'm not making that up because of, maybe what your prompts are. Even the best prompt will still sometimes give you, even the best GPT model can still give you about a 30% error rate. And so
Okay.
knowing that it has errors, you must still review it, fact check it, make sure that it's accurate, leverage a GPT tool to do your resume. And actually, there's so many resume writing tools out now that they sometimes have AI writers involved in them. So it kind of connects the dots for you. We actually teach a no-cost course how to do your resume
Oh,
right at City of Refuge. And we really believe in just educating individuals on the use of it. The reality here is that, and I hate to say this, but these are real facts, right?
yeah.
That, I mean, we're in Women's History Month, and it is not a surprise that 8 out of 10 women, their roles are highly, um, uh, are um, I would say, highly at risk
Oh, yeah.
of AI being of automation. And so
Mhm.
what that means is that it is likely very soon, in the upcoming years, that you may start to see shifts in employment. And when you
Mm.
have women that are head of household,
Ooh,
this really underscores the reason why we have to put skilling at the center of discussions, and in particularly, to the extent in which we can, skill women,
yes.
because many women are in roles that sometimes are administrative, customer service, health care, you know education. Those roles are typically held by women. Those
Mhm.
roles are highly susceptible to AI
Mhm.
enhancements. And so it's not to say that one's job will be removed as a result of it, but I am saying that ensuring that you know how to use those AI tools will be critical right now. And so, to the extent that we can, we host those sessions every week. And again, there are no cost, no charge to individuals, because we really just want to educate individuals and make sure that they're prepared for the AI economy.
Wow. That is so deep because you're right. I mean, you touched on so many key things going back to the resume even. If you just let AI chat just go and write your resume and you get in the interview and they're asking these questions and you're like, because you didn't write.
Yes, yes. And that happens all the time.
Ooh.
You have employers that are like, oh, well, tell me about this. And I've even done mock interviews for individuals, and I've asked them things about their resume and they can't tell me a thing. And
Mm.
it really is a good indicator that either you did not write it, or
Mhm.
you had a AI assistant, but owning what is on that resume. It is your resume. It is only talking about you. And so I
Mhm.
always say, even with when you're writing resumes, or when you're using a tool or a
Mhm.
resume builder that leverages some form of AI, first start with your achievements and your accomplishments. You know what you've done really well, and you can
Mhm.
talk about that really well. So use a tool to help you with it. Um, so not only are you saying, hey, here's a great achievement that I've had in my last role, here's some of the tools that I used and experiences that I had, but help me craft what my bullets should be for this position and the skills that I demonstrated in that role. Well, guess what? Even if it puts some things down, you know what the end result is.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just told it what you did and it just crafted it for you. So again, always starting with, what is the story? What are those personal achievements? What are some of those key things that you did, key tools that you used that AI can really enhance and amplify that resume with?
Absolutely. And then, also going back to what you touched on with a lot of those positions where women in particularly need to learn it now because you don't want it to get here and then maybe you got laid off, unfortunately, like a lot of people are right now, and you have to seek another role, another job, and they're asking you, well, do you know AI chat? And you're like, no. So yes, jump in there now. I agree.
Yes, I mean, it is here, right? It is
Mhm.
here and it is here to stay. And you'll see a lot more organizations start to adopt it very soon. I would probably say in the next year,
Okay.
or definitely the next 2 years. You should expect for GPT and AI to almost be like, do you know how to use Word, right?
Wow.
It will be a technology and a tool that is likely a necessary must have.
Must have, yeah. Oh my goodness. So, going to interviewing, and I know that you're an expert at interviews and hiring people and things of that nature. So, is it, you keep hearing, this is a question that was funneled to me. You see these people put up ads and say, oh, I have my company and I can help you land a job. And then people say, well, I'm just going to go to LinkedIn and no, I'm going to go to Indeed. Give me your thoughts on all of that. What would you suggest is the best route to go?
For job searching or for
Yeah.
your interviewing?
Well, I'm sorry. So for job searching and then the interviewing is going to be my other part of the
Oh,
question.
sure, sure. So from a job searching perspective, I have mixed feelings, right? So it
Okay.
depends on where you are in your career. For some individuals, you need a job today.
Mm-hmm.
And, I say this: intellectual honesty is the best thing. And
Okay.
that's just you being humble to say, I need a job. I need a job now.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is the case, then yes, go to some job boards, apply, go to job fairs, do what you need to do to get the a job.
Okay.
Now, getting a better job may require some other things, um, which may be LinkedIn, which may be um, more networking, which may feel like um, more organic engagement, with your network. Right now, in this economy, the reality is that the average length of time it takes to um, the average time to hire is
Mm-hmm.
upwards of 74 days in some
Ooh,
industries.
gosh.
Some people don't have a runway for 74 days,
Exactly.
but in the area that we're in, technology, it takes 23 interviews
Oh my
to land
goodness.
your first job. Now, that's not to say 23 companies, because you can have
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 interviews at the same company, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that means you would have to have almost 4 separate interviews at companies or
Mm.
5 to land your first.
Wow.
And this is very common in um, professional roles.
Mm-hmm.
And so I say that because I want people to understand the market is shifting. You are the only person that knows the state of this, your current state of the state, your personal state of the state. But I will encourage you that if you know that you need a job and you need a job now, this is the time where you do want to apply to some of those jobs online. It is a numbers game. I
Mm-hmm.
wish I could tell you that it was more methodical, but it's not, which means you have to keep applying. And that doesn't mean random applying. That doesn't mean apply to every job you see. That means apply to the roles that make sense for you. But I would say put a goal to it, right? So
Mhm.
every week I need to apply to 5 jobs, right? And if you're doing that consistently and you start to see a cadence, the other thing you could do is set up a Google alert. I always tell people, first thing first, if you're looking for a job, write down your top 10, the top 10 companies that you would love to work for. Those top 10 companies should go into a Google alert, and you should be alerting yourself when there are news about that company. So you're following them, you're tracking them, you know what to do. You're looking at them on LinkedIn, you're researching the company, you're identifying people within the organization that you may want to network, may want to relate to. The second phase is, now that I know who my top 10 are and I have a Google alert, I'm also going to apply to these roles on LinkedIn, or that I may see on Indeed or ZipRecruiter or any of these tools. What you should know is that most of those tools have aggregators. So if you see it on Indeed and you also see it on ZipRecruiter and you also see it on, LinkedIn or something like that, you're probably, it's still the same job. It's just posted on different
Different.
on different platforms. And they may change the description up a little bit, but always have a log of who you're applying to. What resume did you use for it? I would find myself oftentimes recruiting individuals and find myself interviewing someone, and they would forget what resume they gave me and
Oh.
what experience they actually have. And I'm like, is this you? You know, like, is this really you, or is it someone else?
Oh,
And
wow.
so again, just making sure that if you are using different versions of your resume, identify the version that you're using, and log it for the company in which you're applying to. That way you have a source of truth if you're called back for an interview and you know what they have access to. And then I would say, start networking. Again, like I said before, the industry associations, those trade groups, if you love working in sports and entertainment, then, follow the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, or follow Phillips Arena, or, what I say, Phillips Arena, State Farm Arena.
Yeah.
Follow sports entertainment companies,
Mhm,
or
mhm.
things of that nature. If you're in HR, or if you're in insurance, or sales or technology, follow those corporations and then start to engage in networks. The good thing about the platforms that we're on right now, Facebook and Instagram,
Yes.
there's so many groups that you can be
Yes.
connecting with, individuals that are also in technology, looking for jobs, looking for opportunities, looking for employees,
Mhm.
for talent. Every organization, even on LinkedIn, has follow pages. But even beyond that, there are 50 separate groups that you can also sign up for on LinkedIn.
Mm.
And then I would say, I would be remiss if I didn't say, go to your headhunters, go to your agencies, go to your recruiting firms. They can work on your behalf, and they have an easier access than you do. So make it easy for yourself. Here in Georgia, just like in every market, if you have a healthcare company, if there's a hospital, um, if there is so let me just say this: hospitals, universities, um, most Fortune 500 companies within your respective cities all have typically their own separate staffing firm that they will work with or
Mm.
do work with. Um, Here in Atlanta, at Emory University, because it's one of the largest employers for DeKalb County, Emory has its own Emory tip system. No
Mm.
one, in order to get in at Emory, the easiest gateway is to get in through Emory tips, right?
Mm.
The biggest gateway to get in at Georgia State is to go through Georgia Panther tips. And every company has that. These are just easy tools, right? But these
Mhm.
are the unspoken rules that no one will ever tell you. The only way you'll know those things is if you get out there, you network, and you're involved in industry groups. This will never be posted on a job site. It's never going to be out there for you to see. These are kind of the unspoken rules of the space. So I say that to you because I'm not breaking anybody's rules here, right? But I just want to encourage you all that while I know it may feel difficult, and while it may be difficult to land that next job, you know, uh, to land the ideal job. The point is are you earning income? Are you
Mm,
advancing income? Sometimes you have to look at the glass slightly different, you
mhm.
know, to keep yourself motivated.
That and that
That's
oh
a
my gosh,
long answer. I'm sorry, but
no, no, that's awesome, and that's why I have you on. I appreciate you so much because you're sharing with us the things that some of the viewers don't know. These are tips that they definitely can take notes down and know. And then you touched upon, while you're at idle, still stay busy. So that brings the next question. Someone brought to my attention. They said they had spoken with a headhunter, right? And the headhunter said, "Well, it shows here you've been laid off for a year. What have you been doing for a year?" Well, actually, I've been doing some part-time work over here. And should I put that on my resume? So that was one of the questions. And I thought, oh, that is a good question. So what would you advise for that?
yeah, that's important, right? I would say um, be careful, right? And so it is going to be important that um, you don't need to look like you're completely shifting industries,
Okay.
right? Um, but that you are keeping yourself busy. And so it's easy to say, hey, I've been out of work for a year, but I am working this part-time role, doing ad hoc work. And how you may label that on your resume may just be contract. That way they don't think that you're shifting into retail if you have traditionally worked in technology, right? And they know that it's a part-time contract position, that it's just a buffer role in the meantime. The other thing is that when you're working with a headhunter, being honest is really critical because they are putting their reputation on the line for you. They are
Oh,
advocating for you. They are putting you in front of hiring managers. They are speaking on your behalf. They are um, um, really amplifying the things in which you've shared with them, all the highlights that you've shared with them. They are the ones doing that on your behalf. So you being honest with them on what the current state of the state is really important because they could say, well, yes, she has that, but, or, she's also a caregiver, or they
um,
are doing this or they're doing that, or actually they're doing that and they're taking a class to upskill, and they also earned these other certifications or micro credentials that may not necessarily be on the resume, but but you shared it with them, or it's showcased on your LinkedIn account. So those type of things are gonna be gonna uh, are the things you're going to want to really make sure that you're talking about and amplifying as you're speaking with headhunters to support you. And I would say, just in general, on your LinkedIn profile, if you're out of work for a year, please tell me that you've upskilled and done some courses, some classes, some training, some online learning. Um,
something.
you volunteered, you've
Mm,
gotten a chance to understand others, even in a point of your need, you can still give and give yourself to others and really find yourself learning more about yourself um, that may help you in your next role. When we give of ourself um, and we do it selfishly, you almost find that um, you were getting so much back, even though you gave. You
mhm.
actually are the one really um, being gifted, at the end.
That is so true. That is so true.
That's what you learn about yourself. I mean, I will
Absolutely.
tell you, I remember when I was out of a job and um, I volunteered, and I found myself learning about me, and how I looked at the world and the world around me and how I related to people. And, um, they're just things, the untangibles that you can't really put into words, but it becomes a humbling opportunity for both people.
Absolutely. That is so true. And that's one of the things I did during the pandemic while we were all in the house. I started a podcast.
Yeah,
So I learned so much about me. That's so true.
the
So
perseverance, the resilience,
yes.
like, oh my gosh.
Absolutely. So I got one more question for you, and it looks like the audience is putting in some comments and things of that nature. So I'm gonna definitely let them ask you a question. So this next one is, this was funneled into me. So after you've landed the job, they're gonna select you, or I should say the final interviews, and they say, "What are your salary expectations?" So then that individual may feel like, okay, well, I don't want to go too high, too low. What's the safest way to do? Do you throw a question back on them? What's the safest way to do that?
Yes. So you can always ask them, what's the range?
Okay.
What's the range
Okay.
for the role? And typically they will share the range. And that'll give you an idea kind of where to come in at or what it may look like. Um, there's some things that are illegal to ask. And
Oh,
actually, you want to be careful at the point in which your last rate of pay is asked. Reason being is
mm,
that there has been times when that question is asked at the very beginning of the
okay.
uh, and now if someone says what's your salary expectations, that's not an illegal question, right?
Okay.
But if someone starts to ask you what were you paid in each role, um, what has happened traditionally or in some communities is and genders is that some individuals have been traditionally underpaid. And so, in order to move up, they may say, well, listen, I'm making this up. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
making $25 an hour and I'm paying you 30. But what if the position really is um, baseline is 50?
Oh, mm,
Like, what do you do then? So the first thing I'm going to say in response to this question is you do your own due diligence first before you ask them what's the salary and all of this. I mean, you should kind of have an idea, but you need to know if I'm applying to roles, I'm looking for something, I have something in mind. um, and you can go to salary.com.
that's a good
Typically that
one.
gives you a good idea of kind of
Hmm.
what is the range that this role is coming in at. Now if you're out of work for a year, you may have to say, I'll take a little bit less or hold your ground, right?
Hmm.
But maybe you take a little bit less to get there. And I always want to say it's not just the salary.
Right.
Like I cannot say this enough. When you are accepting a job at a company and they ask you your rate of pay or they make an offer to you, I want you to write down all the things that you pay for. Let me give you a
Mm,
good example. There's a wage that you must make. There's transportation fees. There's gas. There's parking at certain companies, depending on where you work in the city.
mm,
And those are not paid for by the company, that's paid for by you.
mhm.
There's lunch that you're taking, and typically that looks like $15 to $20 a day. Um, there is, or maybe $10, depending on where you eat. I don't know, but even now at Chick-fil-A, it's
It's
$10, $11 to get a
yes,
meal. So 10 to $15. Um, there is a tire.
your suit
There
or
is
your
your suit.
clothes.
There is So there's all these things. You have a gym membership. You have this. You have that. All childcare.
Mm,
If you're working from home or remotely, or you have any of these other opportunities, these are all chipping away. Most companies, some companies do all these additional plans, like, oh, you get free tickets here or discounts here.
oh,
All
yeah.
of those things are benefits that cost money. So when they're making the offer, I want you to know that if someone offers you, and I'm making these numbers up here, but if someone offers you $50,000, know that the real offer for them is way greater than 50,000 because it's health insurance, it's benefits, it's all these other things that you have to take into account. So if you remove those traditional things that you were paying for, you kind of weigh it out.
Mhm.
maybe this is really about the same thing. What am I really fighting for here? If you cannot negotiate on salary, and that's like a non-negotiable, they
Mhm.
can't go up, right?
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
it is what it is. Um, then here's what I would encourage you to do. Ask for a signing bonus.
Oh.
I can't tell you the number of people that would literally leave money on the table. I would want people to negotiate with me. I could not tell people to do it, but I can tell you one thing. It is very rare that a company would go through a series of interviews, and this is for professional roles. So I am not saying negotiate on a job in more hourly roles that may have fixed rates.
Mhm.
It may be a little bit more difficult to negotiate there on the things that you can get. But in professional roles or professional technical services, um, you won't go through a series of interviews for months for some people. They don't want to lose the person. Like they finally made the offer, they finally got the person. I finally found the person we want. And I lose them over $1,000 or $2,000.
Wow.
It's not gonna happen. So they will likely go up on that or say, yeah, I'll give you a signing bonus. Sure. A signing bonus is really easy. It's a really easy yes or no. Um, that can vary depending on what it is. And so those are kind of easier things to do or talk about, hey, milestones that you may hit. And then at that point, can you be reconsidered for
A
a
raise.
raise or reconsidered for maybe an additional amount upon proving that that you've demonstrated the skills in which they're looking for. So I mean, there's always room to negotiate some things, right? um, some people negotiate working from home, the number of days that they work from home. Some people negotiate a 4-day work week. Some negotiate the times in which they come into work to make it more flexible for them. You make it work for you, right? But I will tell you, um, in this market right now,
Yeah.
um, ask for the things that you do need, but be willing to say, hey, this is what I have to have, and I'm willing to walk away if I don't get it. And if that is you, walk away, and that's okay.
Mhm.
Um, or and not a or and know what you actually are worth.
Know your worth.
Know
That's
your
so
worth.
true.
And so then it gives you some room to figure out what does that look like. What do you absolutely necessarily have to have, and then what is it that I'm looking for based on what the market is yielding right now. And every market is different. Know that on salary.com, those numbers are not always real. If you're not paying for the paid version of salary.com, you're likely getting information that's probably skewed up
Oh, okay.
by probably 15 or 20%.
Wow.
Um, so most companies see something and it's completely different than what you all see if you're
Mm.
paying for a free version. But this is why um, beyond a salary.com, this is why your industry associations matter so much. Because if you're in an industry association, trust me, they have a salary report for that industry. So if you're in technology, there's a salary report for technology, for cloud security, for cybersecurity, for HR. Your SHRM Alliance has that. For supply chain, your supply chain association has that. So depending on the vertical that you're in, there typically is some type of salary report that every industry or trade association will do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. This is good stuff. We have one last question before we run out of time here. So, this is from Diana. She says, it's always good to have transferable skills in the event your position is eliminated. Think about what you can offer your new employer. AI will replace many positions. So, yeah, she's basically saying exactly what you've been saying all along. Yeah, you got to have to remarket yourself, rebrand yourself. You got to get up to speed and take those courses and do what you got to do, right? So you can do what you want to do.
And you know what? I say this, the transferable skills are power skills. I mean, you're right on it, Deanna. You know, I always like to say AI may not replace it just yet. It's not that smart. AI is not that smart to replace anyone's role just yet.
But it's on its way.
Just yet, right? So
Just
that means, um, will organizations start to use it more? Absolutely. And will they expect more from you? Absolutely.
Mhm.
And so what you should know is, make sure that you're skilled in it, that you know how to use it, that you know how to use these AI agents to augment your work, you know? So I'm going to leave you all with like a tidbit here. To your point, Deanna, I want you to think about a digital mindset or an AI mindset that I call it now. And that first is, what do I want to do better to like make my job more efficient tomorrow? Just think about the thing. What is the one thing I can do to make my work more efficient? And I can do it tomorrow, meaning I can leverage technology to make my job more efficient, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Then I want you to think about, what are some things that I would like to do, meaning the things that I may need to train on it. I may need to train in a technology, a skill, because I want to do that. This is where the industry is going. And I need to start getting these skills now because I know that, um, the wings of my position will require these technical skills. So I would like to do these things. If I had more time, I would spend my time doing these other things, right? And then I want you to think about, um, on another hand, what are some things I desire technology to do? 'Cause
Mm.
this is when you got to start getting curious,
Absolutely.
and kind of falling in love with technology in a really weird way, because it's the things that you imagine here now that it will be able to do in the future. And so the thing that's lost now is curiosity and imagination. It doesn't have creativity, only you have that. And so, um, continue to think about and explore, what are the things I wish it could do,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
and start thinking and tinkering around with that, and enjoy it, enjoy that journey. There's so much you can do. The transferable skills, those power skills are super important. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about soft skills and the importance of that. Um, they're almost more important than the technical skills. I would say that when we ask employers what are the reasons why they, um, eliminate talent or
Mm.
fire people, it is typically not the technical skills that they're firing talent for. It's the soft skills,
Wow.
the communication skills, it's your initiative, it's your leadership, it's the intangibles, the curiosity, the problem solving, the critical thinking. Those are the things that will matter. And so, to the extent in which you can, start challenging yourself in those types of, um, projects so you can keep those skills sharp. Um, challenge yourself in your writing, in your communication, to keep those skills sharp. Um, and in your leadership. So you can really, demonstrate that in your critical thinking and reasoning, deductive reasoning skills.
Absolutely. That's awesome advice. Oh my gosh, Jahari, please tell everyone how they can get in touch with your company or you, or this is good information.
Yes, well, I hope you, well, I'll tell you how you can follow us and stay connected with us. So, first things first, definitely follow us on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. That's just NPursuit Careers. .com is our website, and NPursuit Careers on all of our social channels. So definitely follow us. That's the letter NPursuit Careers. I also want to say we host, like I said, no cost training programs that I it's just an honor and a joy to be able to do this work along such amazing partners. So we do this work actually right over in the west side of Atlanta, right off of Joseph E. Boone at City of Refuge. They're one of our partners in this work. And we have classes that are filled. Our class last week just learned for 4 days all AI powered skills, resume mock interviewing, portfolio development, LinkedIn, resumes. I mean, they did it. And learning about yourself all in between. And to share even more, every single person that completed that class left with a laptop, a laptop of theirs that is theirs now, to continue to leverage those skills that we taught them, those job search strategy skills. So register on City of Refuge's website. That's cityofrefugeatl.org. And if you register for those workshops, we would love to get you signed up. And get you registered to get a laptop, but also to get the training.
Absolutely.
And our partner, Inspire EDU, has partnered with us to provide that. What's also really great is that we do it strategically with City of Refuge, because City of Refuge hosts job fairs every 2 weeks. And those job fairs bring out hundreds of individuals and dozens of employers that come pretty frequently to hire talent, which is amazing. And so we do these classes to prepare talent for those job fairs. And what we've heard over and over again is that they find that talent that they meet at those job fairs, because they've gone through training programs,
Wow.
they're ready and they tend to get hired. And you start to see a higher placement rate with individuals that's gone through those classes, because if they're resume ready, their job ready, their mock interview ready, they're ready for the job. And so, and they're confident in the skills that they can present and deliver. And so, what an amazing organization. They are continue to, like I said, follow us. And certainly if you know that you need or know someone that needs any of these skills, definitely come visit us, on Wednesdays, and from 10 to 11:30. And then we have another class from 1 to 2:30. And we also include lunch.
Awesome.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Jahari. This has been such a blessing, I know, for the viewers, because it's something that they can take in. And that's what it's all about, informing and telling other people about the things that are great out there. So I thank you so much.
Yes, and
for
Dre,
coming on Let's Talk.
can I share one more thing too?
Sure, absolutely.
So we also have emerging technology training programs, more advanced technology training programs that we do in cybersecurity, data analytics, AI, machine learning, more technical, and do require a little bit of experience. So it does, I would say it's a little bit more of upskilling. But if you know that, I've been looking to make a shift, a transition into technology, or, I've tinkered around in Power BI or Tableau for a long time and just really want to take the next step and get certified in it and do more with it, then I would say certainly make sure that you follow us, complete the info form on our page, go to City of Refuge site, complete their info page. We do that work again alongside City of Refuge. And I will tell you that we just accepted 25 individuals in our cybersecurity program. And no cost cybersecurity program, 7 months.
Wow.
And when you're able to provide individuals with that level of training and remove the barrier of cost and education and taking a loan out to do this and giving them high quality education with certifications and experiences that lead to employment, you we get a chance to participate in transforming someone's life. And
Yes.
it feels really good to be able to do that.
Mm.
And so it is an honor and a privilege really, to be able to work with such dynamic um, talent from this program. I mean, I'm honored that they actually um, give us the chance to work with them. But I will tell you, I wish I could offer this program to every single person I know, because going from making $10 an hour to individuals that are making $80,000 a year, $90,000, that can change your life. It can change your
Absolutely.
life. It could change your family's life, and it could put you on a pathway and a trajectory um, of success. And
Mhm.
that's what I want for for as many people as possible. So we're committed to advancing economic opportunity, identifying as many creative ways that we can do that at no cost to individuals, because of the amazing philanthropists and donors and partnerships that we have to be able to make this possible.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. If you guys don't jump on this program,
I know, I know.
wow. Oh, wow. That's such a blessing, Jahari. Oh, my goodness. You guys definitely follow her. You are amazing. You keep doing what you're doing, and God's going to continue to bless you because when you give back, He gives you twice fold, right? So that's amazing. You guys go to the City of Refuge, get on these programs. Oh, wow. That, look, I'm just blown away. That is amazing. That is
Yes,
amazing.
and follow our social channels. We always
Yes.
post about our programs. So definitely follow us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Like I said, I know you are a blessing to many that are going to see this, that are watching it. And I thank you so much for coming on Let's Talk because it's all about informing, right? And sharing. So, oh my God, that's so amazing. You got to come back again,
I
right?
know, I know. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Talk with you soon. Bye bye. You guys, that was Jahari Soward. She is amazing. I think that's huge. If you can get the training that will allow you to make more money and do better for you and your family, and oh my goodness, free training. And if you live in another city or another state, hey, get a Greyhound bus ticket, get a train ticket, get a whatever, however you got to get to Atlanta, come to Atlanta and get in these programs. They're here for you because in today's times, oh my goodness, you got to get those skills up, right? Okay, so as we close out the show, we went over, but that was so worth it in my opinion. So as we close out the show, and I'm losing my voice here, just want to leave you guys with my typical how to survive in 2025. And that's one of the things I would say is what Jahari just went over. Get involved in programs that's going to sharpen your skills, make you more marketable so that you can get that job, because the job market is very, very, very competitive right now with all that's going on with layoffs. So, quote, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Okay. The positive word I'm going to leave with you guys is, or positive thought is, stop using your energy to worry. Stop worrying. I'm a big person that worries all the time, right? But stop using your energy to worry. Use your energy to believe, create, love, grow, glow, and manifest. And I got that from the page of Power Positivity. Make sure you do that. Do one good thing for one person each day, and you can affect 365 lives, just like Jahari just did. She gave you a wealth of information that can help you, that can help your children, someone you may know, just help them all together. So if no one's told you they love you, know that I love you. You guys stay safe out there. Keep your head up, and this too shall pass, these rough times. Okay. And with those words, I'm out.